But I know I worked with Teens of Tomorrow. I think it was '99. I'm almost sure it was like '99. The latest is 2000. So the reason I know that is because it was my 7th grade year, and I started high school in 2022, or sorry, 2002. So it would have been either '99 or 2000, and I went through my sophomore year. The only reason I know I went through my sophomore year because I still worked my freshman year, but then I got in trouble and had to leave my high school and go to West Side.
I do not remember that.
Yep,
So you must have been gone by that time.
Yep. So I went to West Side my sophomore year, and then I started playing sports and things of that nature. So I didn't do it, and then I got a job my sophomore year at Oriental Training Company as a pallet jack operator, and I was like $18 an hour, $17 an hour, and I was
What
a
sport?
16-year-old. Huh?
What sport?
Basketball.
Oh yeah, you're tall. How tall are
Yeah,
you?
6'4".
6'4". Are you just a little bit tall?
I played football for a little bit. It just didn't work for me. I got 8 stitches across here. I said, forget that, man.
So by the way, this is Richard Webb. What are you doing now?
The president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Midlands.
President of the Boys and Girls Club.
Of the Midlands.
So what is that? North and South Omaha?
So no, we have 14 locations. We have 14 different locations. Yeah, so we have as far east as Council Bluffs and Carter Lake.
Okay.
We have as far south as in almost Bellevue, or essentially it is Bellevue, but it's the Bryan Middle School. We have as far west as Millard Central, and then where our office out of as far as north, as far as Florence Elementary School. So we have 14 different clubs, 4 that are standalone. We have 5 that are inside of schools, like our Morton, our Drew Hill, our King Science, and then we have 5 that are built on, like our West Side, which is on the.
What's the one in Blackburn? Is that like a built on?
Yep, that's the north. That's a standalone club. We have 4 of those. We have North, South, Carter Lake, and Council Bluffs. What I mean by standalones, we're not connected to schools in any way. It's our building, it's our facility. We own it.
That's impressive. And you're the boss.
Yeah,
You're the boss. And this is to me, this is Richard. I remember when he had a box in his hands running down the street. Stretch, let me have a bonus.
Yeah.
You know? And
refill me, man. Hurry up, man. They coming. Refill me.
Yeah, and now he's the president of the freaking Boys and Girls Club. That's pretty good, guys. Congratulations.
Appreciate you, straight.
And where did you go to college?
So I went to university. So I actually went to Hamilton College at first, playing basketball on a scholarship.
Hamilton is where?
It's in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
And then I ended up going to UNO because I got the Buffett scholarship. So I got a full ride Buffett scholarship. Went to UNO for my bachelor's degree.
Why did I think you went to UNL?
I was down in Lincoln, but I went to UNO.
Oh.
You know, so I graduated from there right whenever they it was the second year that they had Manly built the college business down there.
So 1999, 2000, you worked here for 2-3 years.
I'll say 3 years.
What do you remember?
Cold nights sometimes. I'll tell you that, Stretch.
Oh, you worked in the winter?
I did. I worked year round. You know, I'm not sure if you still do it, but you had the policy whereas, you know, if you missed like 2 days out of that week, you suspended. So you couldn't make the money for the next couple of times.
Yeah, you wanted to make your money.
I want to make my money.
Hey,
so,
show up.
And listen, and so I will tell you the biggest thing that I got from Teens of Tomorrow that's helped me so much is the ability to accept no, but not accept no. And what I mean by accept no, everyone's not going to give you something. Everyone's not going to support you. But that doesn't mean you stop. You go to the next door. And the fear of rejection is just lost. And I think a lot of the times right now, especially with our workforce, especially with a lot of our kids, they have a huge fear of rejection. They have a huge fear of no. And there's no better power for me than going door to door selling, having to showcase. You talk about being a politician. You talk about understanding business sense. You talk about understanding supply and demand. You start, knocking out barriers, because I remember it was $7 at that point. And when we were knocking on the doors, they'd be like, well, it's a $2 candy bar, or, you know, a little box of candy. Why are you selling for $7? I said, man, this is what's going on for me. So I remember my speech. So my name is My name is Richard Webb. I work for Teens of Tomorrow. Teens of Tomorrow is an organization that helps teens like myself stay off the streets from gangs, violence, and drugs. Would you like to help teens like myself stay off the streets from gangs, violence, and drugs by purchasing 1 or 2 of my key items? Now, Stretch don't know about this, so hopefully I don't get myself in trouble, because I understood business. Here go business sense right here. So Stretch used to give us a certain amount of dollars for every one we sold. Once we get to a certain amount, it would go up like 50 cents. And every so often, it would go up 50 cents more.
Push harder.
Yeah, push harder.
You buy some.
So what I would do is I would sell 2 for 12 instead of 1 for 7. Because ultimately, when I sell enough of them, it's going to balance itself out. So then I would have to push myself to even sell more to get the profit I wanted for the week. but it always worked for me. So I would sell 2 for $12 or 1 for $7. So I would have that be a part of my speech. You could buy 1 for $7 or 2 for $12. The key is never let them interrupt you. And I think you told us that, Stretch. Never let them interrupt you.
Sorry.
Just keep it. And I guess not a bullish approach, but
Right.
just making sure they understand
That you want support.
Yeah, that we want support.
Yeah.
And so, for me, Stretch, that helped me so much just because rejection is a part of life. But how you deal with rejection, how you deal with adversity is what really separates those who want it and then people who are willing to go and get it.
Right.
Because everybody wants something in life, but how many of you are going to go get it? Something like I do with my kids at the club. So I always start off with some of the talks I do. Like I pull out $1 and I ask them, what is $1? I pull out $5. I ask them, what is $5? And I ask them, what can they buy for it? Why do they want it? Of course, everybody wants money. I pull out $10 and I say, well, what can you buy for this? A little bit more, right? Tell me about it. When I pull out $20, I'll be like, that's $20. What can you buy for this? And they all start talking. And I say, who wants it? Who wants it? I can be in a room full of people. Who wants it? And I'll stay up there.
And finally somebody steps up.
Somebody step up and come and get it. And I said, that's life. Everybody want it. Every one of y'all here said y'all want it.
But nobody
But
stood up.
nobody went and got it.
Right.
Ain't nothing gonna be handed to you. And so when we think about what Teens of Tomorrow is, of course, knocking on everybody's door, everybody, and in the van, everybody didn't go and sell out the container.
No.
Sometimes people have challenges, they go weeks and months without even selling one container. And I think you gave us from the beginning, it was 25 different items in that box.
There's still 25.
25 different items in the box, right? And then you used to always say, don't call me until you get down to less than 10. Because, other people, we would see it and they would buy Kit Kats was gone. Like, we need new Kit Kats.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, you gotta learn how to sell everything in the box.
everything.
You're selling
Everything.
it yourself. You're not selling that.
Yeah, you selling everything. And then I remember, I'm not sure you used to do this, but y'all had the coloring things. Like
Those
the
are
crowns
gone.
and then the little boxes of tea.
We do have tea
Yes, a
still.
little bit of tea, little boxes of tea. So the crowns and little boxes of tea was always the hardest thing to sell.
Mhm.
Candy was the easiest, but like you said, you got to learn how to understand it. They not buying this item. They trying to support you and staying off the streets from gangs, drugs.
Every
and
time
violence.
they buy a box of that candy,
Yeah.
that puts you in my van. When you're in my van, we're not gang.
Yeah, we're not, and that's exactly where the kids and what we had to learn, and that's what sold. It was and I tell people like this all the time, even when I was done with Teens Tomorrow, I was still talking to Chris. Chris did it all the way through middle age.
Okay, Chris did it
Yeah, he was
forever.
30 something, still doing it. But I
He had so much fun, he just couldn't quit.
But I tell people like this: there is no golden ticket, right? So there's no program. Even the Boys and Girls Club, I love what we do. I mean, we impact 1,300 kids a day right now, trying to get up to 1,700.
1,300 kids?
Pre-pandemic, we were 2,300 kids, 2,400 kids a day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And but the reason why I say that though, Stretch, is nobody has a golden ticket. So let's just break down Teens of Tomorrow at the lowest foundational root. And I know there's been a lot of negativity on you and Teens of Tomorrow over
Years
the years.
ago.
Yeah. And saying that, hey, this wasn't helping kids, this wasn't doing this. And I always like to break things down in the simplest form. What are these kids doing when they're with Stretch?
You're making this so easy on me. This is what I was going to do when I do my interview. Go ahead. What are they doing when they're with the Stretch?
What are they doing with Stretch?
They're hanging out, going door to door.
They're in a van, going to a location with candy, with a purpose, doing something constructive.
Right.
And making money at the end of the day if they're doing something constructive.
What is the best way to stop poverty?
Yeah.
Let them find out how to earn it. We don't want to give it to them.
Yeah.
We want to get them to earn it.
Get them to earn it. And so if they're not doing that, we don't know what they're doing. And not saying they're gonna go out here and drug, violence and all that, but if the communities that we're living in are having those things as mentors go both ways, good and bad.
Sure.
Right? So ultimately, if they're out there doing something constructive, it's working, they're making money during these hours of the day, and there's a lot of data that shows the hours from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the most high need for kids.
Sure.
And guess what time Teens of Tomorrow is gonna get you?
Yeah.
They're gonna get you right after school. They're gonna come pick you up from your house, make sure you come out as soon as Stretch come out there and blow that horn, and then they're gonna drop you back off, and you're gonna get a meal before you get back
I was
home.
just going to say, maybe the belly's going to be full when they go home.
And even if you don't, I remember a lot of the time, Stretch, people didn't sell nothing, and they still got a meal. Because you took care of them if they didn't sell nothing. You want to just keep them.
Just because they haven't learned how to do it yet, we might as well, try and encourage them to come back. Let's try again.
Yeah, and so that's what I look at. There's no golden ticket. So even if at the foundation, it's just a man who's investing his time with these kids, going door to door, and that's the only impact that you're getting. Guess what? From 3 to 8, every single day, Monday through Friday, because I know Saturday and Sundays is longer. We used to go to Lincoln on Saturdays every Saturday. I used to love Lincoln. We had a full day of selling.
What was your favorite city?
Lincoln.
Everybody says that.
Yeah, there's no question. Well, I think the biggest thing is because like Lincoln was we all knew on
You made big
Saturdays
money.
you make big money because it was a longer time to sell, and then the stretch. I don't know if you had the video. I think you still got the TVs in the van.
Yes, but it doesn't work.
Oh, listen. So that was a funny start too because like I had never been in a van with a TV, and and then Stretch had some little bitty tins. I think it was like little tins, but they hit. And so the drive down to Lincoln was always a blast with just friends because you became to be a little family, right?
We are family.
Yeah. It became to be a family because we would be with each other every single day, going to different neighborhoods, and every Saturday we going down to Lincoln. Right? And so, like you said, Saturday was the biggest day for longest because you make the most money. And
That's the thing.
I'm in real estate. Stretch.
Are you in real estate?
Yeah. So my wife and I, I do this as my full-time job. Like I love youth development. That's why that what fills my bucket, right? But
Youth development?
yeah, youth development. So that's what they call, of course, after-school partners like youth development, boys and girls.
Oh, I said the connection. Whenever I call you guys, you always say, I want to do something for the kids, or I'm already doing something for the kids. Every single one of you guys. Go ahead.
Well, so that's what my heart and joy is, right? And Stretch, I'll tell you, and I told my board this isn't something that's not public. I see myself 10 more years doing this, right? And then I'm going to retire, essentially. And what I mean by retire is my wife and I, we own real estate. When I used to work for Caesars Entertainment, I took those incentive checks and bought real estate. Bought,
I'm
properties.
familiar, you own quite a bit of real estate.
Yeah. And then, kind of crazy, when I first moved actually right before we moved into our house now, in Carter Lake. I think you know where I live in Carter Lake. A couple years ago, right before we bought our house in Carter Lake, we were avid boaters, so on a boat, and we were out on a boat, and my wife said, she wants to get out of working for the district. She's been working for OPS as assistant principal for 15 years. And she was turning 39, about to turn 40 this year. And so last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, we were on a boat, and she came with a business plan before we bought our first commercial property. So that's why I told you we own the child care
How many
center.
years ago?
This was 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
you own the daycare.
Yep, we own the child care center. So we own a business, but I told her I own real estate. I said, well, you want to be an early childhood center. You want to own one. You're not going to just own the business. You go own the building too. Because I know there's a lot of daycares or early childhoods and they pay a whole bunch of money to lease these buildings and it cuts into their profit. And so I told her, I said, put a business plan together. You believe in me for real estate. I believe in you for this. And let's get it started. And so we bought it. It's right across the street from King Science Center. It's called Gifted Minds Early Learning Center. And so we bought the building, created the business, and in December of 2019 is the business open. Or December 2020.
Oh, right.
Right there.
Right there in the ouch.
Yeah.
That's heavy stuff.
But it's thrived.
We made it.
Yeah.
We made it through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. It's thriving. And now, I think they average, they have like 60 kids enrolled and they average like 50 a day.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huge.
You own some houses, don't you?
We do. Yeah, we own some rental properties, and then so it's residential we own, then we own the commercial buildings too. And so now my next thing is to try to get into like multifamilies. I'm gonna have, when I say multifamilies, probably like 12 plus doors in one property essentially. It's like apartments and things of that nature, or going to this is probably more when I retire after like 10 years, going to like development, not actually buying what's already there, but developing it and utilizing like TIF dollars and things of that nature.
That goes along with my plan that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to talk later about that. Who knows what we're going to get for donations online, but the donations are going to go to Let's Rebuild North Omaha.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of property up here just sitting vacant.
it is,
And
especially the land bank, things of that nature.
we should have people up here, we should have houses, more businesses, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Back to the team for tomorrow. So your favorite city, Lincoln, what was more important, being top seller or making the most money? Usually top seller is making the most money.
Yeah, usually, but not always though.
Because you might have made too many deals.
Yeah, man, make too many deals in my situation. But I tell you, so I was always about the money. So being the most money was key for me. But I do remember getting the vans, and the top seller, if you remember, always got the front seat.
And did he control the stereo?
And control the stereo.
Yep.
And so sometimes you wanted to be the top seller because you wanted that front seat. You didn't want to be back there. You want your own
Yeah, on
seat.
that really hot day, you want to be crammed in the back.
Especially if you're coming from Lincoln. You want to be in that front seat because you got the whole ride, that 45-minute ride back.
Okay, so what? A special
Do you-
memory. Do you have a special memory of anything that happened? Be it on the route or in the van or whatever.
A customer at the door, anything.
Do you want to say good stuff or you want to say bad stuff?
Well, we always gotta stay good.
Okay.
Not on what's bad stuff.
So when I say bad stuff, nothing horrible, but
What was the bad?
it's fighting the van.
There was a fight.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Actually, me and Brian fought the van.
You really? Did
Yeah.
I pull over and choke you guys?
Actually, you did. You actually did. You pulled over, got us on the side. All of us had to get out the van, and it was just
Middle of the highway.
In the middle of the
Had
highway.
to be Saturday.
Yeah.
Who beat who in sales?
I forgot. I think that's why we was arguing.
That's gotta be the fight.
Yeah, that's the fight. That was the fight. And but you know, it goes back to the family atmosphere, though, right? Like, I mean, you're gonna have disputes, right?
Sure.
And it's gonna get emotional because, like, I want to be the best, and it was a competitive nature. So that's why we ended up fighting on the van. And then we both got suspended for 2 days, and then we learned because we came back.
Well, yeah,
we
you're
were
gonna
gonna
fight.
make our money.
Yeah, if you're gonna fight, it's gonna cost you money.
Yeah. So I think that was probably just the most memorable experience.
I had a kid one time and he stood up and he just started boxing this kid. And I'm driving down the damn road. Come on, Tommy, stop.
Yeah.
Because he took his cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's a good memory?
I think when I sold 120 stretches, you said I sold 180.
He probably sold 80.
No, listen, no. I mean, every good memory was beating Breon and Chris. That was every good memory because
Brianna was up there that much, huh?
Yeah, Breon was up there too. It was me. I tell you, it was always Chris that was winning so much, and then it was me and Breon, and Cece would always sneak in there here and there. But for consistency, it was me and Breon and Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's probably anytime you sold a good amount of money because at that time, I think if you sold like 80 something, I think at that point we was getting like $3 a box.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say
What you said the price was 7?
it was 7.
Usually you guys got around 30%.
Yeah,
So whatever that would come out to was $250.
yeah, $253 a box.
Yeah. Hey, so that it competes with minimum wage.
Yeah.
But if you want to go do minimum wage, go ahead, you know. But if you're going to really apply yourself, I'm sorry, but it keeps you from the drug money.
Yeah,
It does.
sure.
You know, a kid's going to legally go sell a box of candy or illegally sell drugs. We're winning that battle all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. And you know what? You get to be there as long as you follow the rules. You can do what you want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had your own business when you had that box out?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I control my destiny.
Yeah.
You know, when I go out there and sell, I control how much money I want to make.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, you know, once again, sometimes I would duck off and like be sleeping somewhere or just be relaxing, right? And I'd be like, you know, and then you can hear the van because the van made a unique sound. So you always knew when that van was coming around.
You knew the squeaks.
You knew
the rev.
everything.
You knew when Stretch was coming.
Because
to check
Stretch would be coming check on you, like so he would. It's not, and that's another thing I think that's a misconception too. It's not like you had kids like in North Omaha and South Omaha and West Omaha. It was more like here is an area that we're at.
all of you 8 are right there.
Yeah. So then, even if you dropped all of us off, I'm sure after you dropped all of us off, the next thing you do is now go back and check on the person I dropped off the second person.
First thing I do is I go run to the bathroom and give me a pop.
Yeah.
After I get a pop, then yeah,
You always had a pop. You always did have a pop.
I always had a cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't smoke cigarettes no more. Thank God.
Amen.
I smoke cigars.
He doesn't drink pop anymore either.
No pop.
Man.
No, she got her coffee.
Yeah.
So then I spend the rest of the night, and you know I put 60,000 miles back in your day. I was putting 60,000 plus miles on a vehicle a year, all city.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard that is on a
Yeah.
vehicle? We're burning through vans every other 1, 2, 3 years, whatever the case would be. When he walked in, I said, "Where do you want to sit?" I said, "You want to sit at the head of the table? You're the president, so you probably sit there." And your reaction was,
Yeah. No.
"No."
Yeah. And I'll tell
She
you.
was right.
Yeah,
She
I
said you
told
wouldn't.
her. I told her.
And I mean, and I think that's one of the challenges also, and it kind of all goes to, you know, building who you are as a person and as a leader. You know, some people tie so much into a title, and I've never been the type to do a title, right? So I understand as a 35-year-old African-American young male leading the largest after-school youth development organization in the state of Nebraska.
It's neat. It's neat to sit here 20 years later with you. And God, you know, I'm still doing it. I'm still selling candy. I still live in the same house.
Mm-hmm.
Still doing the same stuff. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work.
Yeah.
I go enjoy these guys.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where, the base of it is, Stretch. I mean, and I don't like to keep comparing like to the Boys and Girls Club at all, but we talk about the senior leadership team and like, what's the purpose? And I mean, now where so many foundations and so many people who give money are trying to figure out what outcomes are. Like, what is the purpose? It's like when we look at the Boys and Girls Club, the things I remember from the Boys and Girls Club is the relationships I was able to establish, right? And so
that's what I look back on.
and that's the outcomes that really help guide these kids into the right direction, right? Like, I came to work every day to Stretch instilled in me, like, if you don't come to work, you ain't getting paid. And if you just no call, no show, you suspended for a couple of days.
I still do that.
So
too, yeah.
accountability is built all into
It's
that.
structured.
Yeah.
It's teaching you guys what you're going to be expected of as an adult. I'm not raising you guys to be kids.
Yeah.
I'm raising you guys to be adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, I was right.
But that's what we want to do partially with the website is we want to
Have a little more fun. with
get
kids.
more donations to be able to, because right now we foot the bill.
Yeah.
We don't have enough.
Yeah, for 27
We
years,
want
it's always been out of my
to
pocket.
take these kids and do more stuff with them besides just working and build more of those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say come out of my pocket, that comes out of the $10. It's $10 now.
Yeah.
And what's sad is when COVID started, did you sell the gummy bears that
Yeah.
had the kids on the back
Yeah.
that said no to the game?
Yeah.
That company, it was like the last one. So there's nobody left. So we just sell whatever we can. But we have a local company that uses Rotella bread to make dog treats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called, what is it?
Ag alchemy.
Ag Alchemy. It's over there in La Vista. And they believe in us. So they're selling us dog treats. What I want to do with Teens Tomorrow now, let's have all local items in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Pardon?
No, I said, yeah.
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 All local items, all local kids working on local land. You know, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's our future. You got any questions for Richard? I think we've covered everything. What do you think? You got anything else to say?
I think it's good. I mean, I think if I can double down on anything, Stretch is,
And you use everything you learned?
there's no question. I mean, I always look at, I say this a lot of times when I speak to kids and even speaking to audiences, I look at it like a melting pot, right? Like, so who you become as a young man or a young woman is all the experiences that you've had to go through wrapped into who you are.
Sure.
And I believe that has, kind of guided my ethics, my morals, go all the way down to the type of leader I am. It's because of everything that I went through, right? And so when I look at what I learned from Teens of Tomorrow, when I looked at, like I said, rejection being the biggest thing, the mindset of having the work ethic to go and get it, like you said earlier, I can sell these things and I ain't got to look over my back to worry about if somebody gonna pull me over for something I ain't supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because ultimately, when I grew up and where I grew up, it was an easy opportunity for me to go out and do something dumb.
Oh,
to
dude.
make money.
On the way home from school, you had an opportunity to get in trouble.
Do something dumb.
Yeah.
But you know what? I knew I had to hurry to get home because I knew I had to, because I'm sure many kids do this, but you used to make us call you every day when we got home.
Same thing.
Yep. So
If you're not calling, I'm not coming.
You're not, yep, exactly what you said. So if you're not calling, I'm not coming.
You can't be responsible enough to pick up the
Yeah,
phone.
pick
Goodbye.
But see, in Stretch, that's the simple things that you don't even know. I think you said you were instilling that into these young women, young men, to do what they need to do, right? And to grow into the young men, young women.
Nobody else is teaching them.
Yeah, and so even something as simple, Stretch, as get home, call me, it's responsibility,
Mhm.
which we lacking now. I mean, the workforce even now can't even call. They'll text. I can't come in. I can't do this.
I do let some of them slide. They're allowed to
Stretch,
text me.
don't do that, Stretch.
All right, go back to
I'm
calling.
gonna tell you why. Because once again, it goes back to what did Teens of Tomorrow teach me?
Right.
How to handle rejection.
Right.
So if I can send it in a text or an email, I ain't gotta face it.
Oh.
I need to face you.
Oh.
I need to tell you, hey, I can't come in today, Stretch, because of this.
You know, okay, and I was testing the waters on that because I had a kid text me and I was like, I don't care if they text. And I finally started, I'm going to get away with text. Well, guys, you're not going to text no more. You have to call.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody knows what he's talking about right here, he does.
Yeah, this I'm gonna tell you that really does help people get over it, because
Sure,
if I gotta call you, Stretch, especially like in the workforce now, they'll text, I'm sick, I don't feel good, Meanwhile,
Yeah, there's no accountability.
the challenge there is in the century that we're living in now, everything's on social media. So
Right.
you'll tell me you don't feel good, but then you go on Snap or Instagram and you partying. I thought you didn't feel good.
Right.
And you partying, you must be working right now. And so that's the other reason why you call me.
I gotta get strict.
Because now you gotta face it and say, hey, this, I don't care if you got a fake your voice or whatever, you gonna call me. So now I can understand, because that's important.
But you know what? That goes back to what you said, which is I got soft with the heater in the van, and I'll get soft with the electronics.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
Back to hardcore stretch again. Thanks, Richard. Way to go.
All the people in the van go hate me now.
That's hilarious. Oh God, that's cool. Oh, I got some. So when we're doing this website, every one of you guys had input. Do you feel that you had input in that van? Do you remember 20 years ago? Did you have input on what we did in that van?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
We got some hoodies, okay? Because Melvin wanted to get hoodies. We got the website because Chris wanted the website. We got this because, okay, so.
Yeah. I mean, even down to, you asking us what was the best sellers and stuff like that. I'm not sure that was using your data or you just basically trying to put what we believe was going to be the best seller for us to equip us with the tools. Because I always look at it like this, you have to prepare somebody to go be great. And so you preparing us is making sure like everything that even happens before the van even goes out, Stretch, right? So before that van goes out, you or whoever else is preparing each one of them bags with the boxes. Each one of the boxes with everything that needs to go under there. The card needs to go under there. So ultimately, when we get in that van, we can go to the back, take our box, and we can hit the ground and run it, right?
Me and the kids do that.
Okay, you and the kids do that. Okay.
Yeah, my kids can't stand me because they're always having to stock these boxes.
Yeah, and so simple stuff like that. So even simple stuff like what we want to eat at the end of the night.
You're keeping it simple.
Watch, all of that. But once again, even those simple things, Stretch,
Kids
it
keep it simple, stupid.
it teach the things you need to be teaching, right? All that. Even when we think about communication, like I don't know if you remember this, but not everybody agreed always where we can go eat or what we gonna go do.
Oh, and they still don't.
Yeah, that. And so, but now they gotta communicate. Well, we gotta make a decision.
Guess who got the decision?
Yeah.
Usually top seller.
Yeah, top seller.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris finally control.
So, and all of that was the competitive. That was all incentives. If you want to be the top seller, you can be in the front. You can make a decision where we're gonna go. You can have the heat, you can have the AC, you ain't gotta be next to nobody that may be all sweating because they've been running all night.
So we're going to do that now, but we're going to do it on a bigger level. We're going to take some of the donations that come in, and we're going to take these guys on trips. And top seller gets to pick. Actually, we're going to put it up to a vote. Top seller gets to pick. And then I thought what would be cool is if we let the cities vote where we go.
Yeah,
What do you think of that?
I think that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
These are the 4 places. You vote where you want. That's where we're going.
yeah.
It's your money. Where do you want to take these kids?
Go. Yeah.
So, but you guys are bigger, and so if we did full transparency, are people going to kind of turn their nose up at the fact that we have to get our compensation out of it as well?
No, because you build it into what the program is.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I am with these kids. Okay, so here's what it is. I'm with these kids 40, 50 hours a week. With you guys, 700 hours a week because you wouldn't let me take a day off. And then when we go do an activity with them, and I'm sorry, but I should get paid. I have children. I have to feed my children.
Yeah.
And then now I'm with these kids another 10 or 15 hours doing some kind of fun activity.
Yeah.
And that I don't have to be paid for. I'm getting paid. I get to enjoy these kids.
Yeah.
We get to have fun. There's my pay.
Yeah. And it's culture building for the kids. That's all it is. It's culture building for the kids because nobody wants to work with somebody if all they do the whole time is just work. They want to have some type of fun.
You can make all the money in the world, but if you can't spend it, what good is it?
And it's family. It's a nice job too, man. Everybody got theirs. I should go get mine, man. Everybody got theirs.
I don't know who that is now, but I know where that car is.
Yeah.
So you can make all the money in the world. And that was when I had you guys. What I always like to do is I'd have these guys work all week long, and then on a Saturday, let's go spend that money so that you can go home with this nice pair of shoes and say, damn, dude, I did this.
Yeah, I forgot they used to do that to us. Yeah, right after we had a selling day Saturday, we go to the mall.
That was the most common thing. Everybody likes these kids today, they're not into gear like they used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was talking about quitting her job. The one thing is for all these years, I do the kids, she does the office.
I do everything else: the candy ordering, the
She's
making
a
the
nurse.
cards, the getting the licensing. I do it all.
And she's a nurse 40 hours a week, and then she does another 10, 20 hours a week doing all this stuff. And I said, if we could get enough donations, then she could just do that stuff full time. Imagine what we could do then.
Yeah. So do you all have like budgets assigned with that?
We've never done it before.
She
Like,
donates
we
all her
don't.
time. She's not
I don't
paid.
get paid for anything.
Yeah. So I will put that into a budget. I will put that into a budget. And if you want help with it, Nonprofit Association of the Midlands is really good at that.
Computer smarts here. Come on, man. I know how to get a kid to decide to sell candy instead of carry a gun. And that's my job. Your job is to do all the computer work, which is tough, man. You're working 40 hours a week at one job, and then you do this for another 10 or 20.
And I have to run the household at home too with 5 kids.
With 5 kids. And lizards and ferrets and
Yeah,
we don't
a
eat
farm.
fish.
But I think the biggest thing is because like even when it comes to us, like if y'all two are not there, Teams Tomorrow can't run.
Right.
Right.
I mean, so ultimately you have to build that into your program costs, right?
So, okay.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
It's good seeing you after 20 years, man. We shouldn't take so long.
I know, Tony. I see you all the time in traffic, Stretch.
I know, I see you all the
Every
time.
time I see a van, I call, Stretch, is that you, brother? Where you at, Stretch? Is you in my neighborhood?
Adidas, they're going to see this video and they look up to you like crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And these guys want to be just like you.
Well, the crazy thing about that, Stretch, it goes back to what I even said about being a leader, right? Like, how many bricks you put in your book bag. And that's why I tell people all the time, like, a lot of people want these titles, but ultimately, do you really want that title? Because at the end of the day, you never shut off. I mean, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm a community leader in some people's eyes, right? Because of my title, right? So I never get to be Richard. I never
get to be stretched.
Yeah, never. No, you always stretch. You got to figure out somebody else you can't be there.
Right?
Well, I'm always stretched, but I never get to.
No, he
I never
never,
get time out from kids. I
he
want to just have
never
a peaceful
really
room.
gets to be the husband and the father.
Yeah,
He's always the father to these other kids.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because 1 o'clock in the morning when the kid's bored, he calls up Stretch. Hey, Stretch, what are you doing? I'm trying to sleep. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So you're right. I say never.
And so
Sometimes I get it
these kids are like, when we do family events,
Yeah.
they come with
Come
us.
on.
Yeah, they come with us. That's when you caught me in traffic. We were doing a family event, which was go to a reptile show.
Yeah.
We're gonna take them to drive-in. Did you know there's a drive-in
Yeah. Out there for like a.
in Valley?
Yeah, about yeah.
Have you taken your drive?
I have none.
I have not either.
So I'm gonna tell you, I haven't taken that thing too many places. I just never was gonna take it out there because it's like gravel and stuff, right? When you go in.
You're
It's
okay.
just the driveway.
You're okay.
Yeah,
You
okay.
take it. Well,
Just
now-
go slow.
Yeah.
You'll be
Well,
alright.
don't take it if it's rainy because the last time they got rainy, they don't have. So they're brand new
Yeah,
and they don't have enough gravel down.
yeah.
But surely they'll get some more.
Yeah,
we support them like crazy.
I'll take my truck. I haven't been out there yet. We would always say we'd go out there. I just never have.
I'm gonna take the kids.
I'm always just tied up in work, traveling or something. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know.
All right. So let me get up here to this Walmart for my wife. She want me to grab some stuff for her.
Well, that was long. We were supposed to keep this an hour. That was an hour and a half. Richard, I can't say thank you enough, dude.
Appreciate it.
And Omaha, look at here. Look at here. We did it. Did we break the cycle of gangs, drugs, and violence?
Did we help break the cycle?
No, there's no question.
No question.
I mean, even if it's keep it simple, right? Even if it's the simplest thing, from 3 to 8 o'clock, 3 to 8:30 sometime, I knew I was gonna be in.
Yeah, you weren't in trouble.
Yeah, I
You
knew I was
can't
gonna
be.
be in.
You can't be.
I knew I was gonna be selling candy for Team Tomorrow.
You might have been in trouble with me because you were starting fights in the bands.
So much though that now we're talking 20 plus years ago. I still remember my line.
Still remembers it. And most of you guys remember it. One of them didn't. But yeah, you still remember it. That was an impact on your life,
There's
man.
no question. Knock on the door.
And those people, we're going to wrap this up because we'll talk for days because I haven't talked to him for a while. But the people at the door taught you some stuff.
Oh, yeah, of
It
course.
takes a village to raise a child.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
Richard, good to see
Appreciate
you.
it.
Let's not wait 20 years.
Sounds like